The group of showmen that you see in the ring right now is our oldest, most experienced group of showmen that we have here at the Big E this year. Like I said, these 4-Hers are ranging in age from 17, 18 years old. These are 4-Hers who, for most of them, have been showing beef cattle most of their lives. If they weren't born into it, they got into it at a very young age. It's something that's very evident by the quality of showmen that we have in the ring right now. As we go down the line, you'll see younger showmen who, many of them as well, have been involved in their entire lives. So definitely is great to see the 4-Hers that we have out here today and how much experience they're able to bring to us here at the Big E. That does conclude Class 1 for us. Returning from Class 1 will be Olivia Briggs of New Hampshire, Sophia Romani of Rhode Island, Olivia Oatley of Rhode Island, and Andrea Majewski of New Hampshire. Those 4 that I just read off will need to return for the championship drive. In the ring now, we have Class 2 for our 4-H beef showmanship. These 4-Hers have birthdays ranging from May 2002 to November 2002. There's 8 entries into this class as well. Our judge today is Dr. Ken Culp III. He's from Nicholasville, Kentucky, and he's a principal specialist in the Department of 4-H Youth Development. He's also an adjunct associate professor at the Department of Family Sciences at the University of Kentucky. Dr. Culp was born and raised near Rensselaer, Indiana, on a 2,500-acre livestock and grain farm with a beef feedlot capacity of 1,200 head. Ken was a 10-year 4-H and 5-year FFA member. He was a member of the 1978 Purdue Livestock Judging Team, which won the national championship contest at the North American. He was high individual in cattle at both the Mid-Purdue Livestock Mid-South Fair and Keystone International Livestock Exposition. He coached the Purdue Livestock Judging Team from 1983 to 1985 and was the first graduate student to do so. Ken received 3 degrees from Purdue, a BS in Animal Science, MS in Ruminant Nutrition, and PhD in Educational Foundations and Administration. Ken has judged livestock and showmanship in 15 states, from Florida to California to Massachusetts. He is the only person in the world to have coached a state championship 4-H livestock judging team in 3 different states, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky. Together with 4 generations of the Culp family, Ken and his family operate Grand Ole Place Farms with divisions in Indiana and Kentucky. The Culp family breed, show, and sell Key Angus, Chianea, Hereford, and Maintainer cattle, semen, and embryos. Ken is currently serving his 3rd term as a member of the American Chianea Association's Board of Directors. He has served as secretary of the board for 5 years and is currently serving his 2nd year as chairman of the board. Ken and his wife Nancy live in Nicholasville, Kentucky, and are the parents of 3 daughters, Brittany, Kelsey, and Laurel, all of whom are actively involved in the cattle operation. All 3 girls have served as director of the American Junior Chianea Association and also served as a National Chianea Queen. They have 1 granddaughter and 1 grandson. The Culps have participated in 20 consecutive Junior National Chianea heifer shows. Once again, this is Class 2 of our beef showmanship competition here at the Big E. Our 4-H program here is one that welcomes 4-Hers from all over New England. All 5 states are welcome. This year we have representatives from Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, and Maine, and New York. I apologize. We do have people from New York this year. Unfortunately, Vermont was not able to join us this year. However, they're always invited. The ultimate goal for these 4-Hers, for many of them with steers, comes tomorrow night with the 4-H steer auction. The 4-Hers here will take these steers and run them through the auction right here in the ring. They are available for purchase by anybody, public, private. Whoever wants to come is more than welcome to come and bid on a steer. We do encourage you to come and bid. If you're looking for more information, there are representatives throughout the barn that you can ask for. The auction is tomorrow with a bidder's reception starting at 4:30 and the auction starting at 6. Thank you, Class 2. Returning from that class will be Alexis Washburn of New York, Aaron Battles of Tallinn, Connecticut, and Cameron Fitch of Chesterville, Maine. Class 2, you're welcome. Thank you for coming in the ring. We're going to get Class 3 in here right now. So we can get Class 3. There should be these 4-Hers in Class 3. Their age ranges from January 2003 to July 2003. There's 8 in this class as well, and we're welcoming them in right now. For those of you just joining us out in the stands, what the judge is looking at right now is he's evaluating the showmen themselves, how they present the animal to him, how attentive they are to him in the ring, things along the lines like that. The judge is looking to see how the showman is presenting themselves and the animal to him. Are they making sure that the animal's between the judge and the showman? Are they letting the judge see the animal the way they want them to see them? Those are the kinds of things that the judge is looking for right now. He's not so much looking at the quality of the animals, but more how the showman is projecting the animal towards him. Thank you, Class 3. You're now dismissed from the ring. Returning from that class will be Ashton Karen of Maine, Lily Diaz of Massachusetts, and Cody Kishbaugh of New York. In the ring now, we have Class 4 of our Beef Showmanship for the 4-H program here at the Big E. These 4-Hers have birth dates ranging from September 2003 to June 2004. There will be 8 in this class as well as the last one, so make your way in, please, Class 4. For those of you just joining us there in the stands, what the judge is evaluating right now is the showman and how well they're projecting the animal to him. He's not just so much looking at the animals themselves and the quality of them, but so much as how the showman is projecting that calf or heifer steer towards that judge. The judge is wanting to see how the showman is doing as far as making sure that that judge can see that animal, knows what that animal's doing, and when the judge talks to them, potentially even how well they know their animal. Our judge today is Dr. Ken Culp III. He's an adjunct associate professor in the Department of Family Sciences at the University of Kentucky. He was born and raised near Rensselaer, Indiana, on a 2,500-acre livestock and grain farm with a beef feedlot capacity of 1,200 head. Ken was a 10-year 4-H and 5-year FFA member, and he was a member of the 1978 Purdue Livestock Judging Team, which won the national championship contest at the North American. Ken has judged livestock and showmanship in 15 states, from Florida to California to Massachusetts. Together with 4 generations, he and his family operate the Grand Old Place Farms with divisions in Indiana and Kentucky. The Culp family breed, show, and sell Key Angus, Chiania, Hereford, and Maintainer cattle, semen, and embryos. He and his wife Nancy live in Nicholasville, Kentucky, and are the parents of 3 daughters, Brittany, Kelsey, and Laurel, all of whom are actively involved in the cattle operation. All 3 girls have served as a director of the American Junior Chiania Association and also served as a national Chiania queen. They have 1 granddaughter and 1 grandson. The Culps have participated in 20 consecutive national junior Chiania heifer shows. In the ring right now is Class 4 of our beef showmanship competition here at the Big E. This is all through the 4-H program. Many of you may know what 4-H is and what it isn't. 4-H is a youth program put on by the extensions of state universities throughout the country. In New England, it's primarily through the state universities, the ones we know of, UConn, UMass, UNH, all the big schools here in New England. And it's something that here at the Big E, all of us 4-Hers are, I say us because I'm a 4-H alumni myself, we're all blessed to be here at this program where a lot of us actually will end up selling steers. We do have a big steer sale here on Monday night, tomorrow night actually at 6 o'clock. We do invite everyone to please come and bid, potentially even take home one of these very well taken care of steers. These animals are both grain and grass-fed. Some grass-fed, if you talk to the 4-Hers and ask them what they do, they're more than happy to give you information about them. We do have people, we have 4-Hers throughout the barn, so if you see a 4-Her, please feel free to stop and ask them questions about the auction. Again, it's tomorrow night at 6 o'clock with a buyer's reception at 4:30 right here in the show ring in the Mallory Arena. Returning from Class 4 will be Clay Constantine, Victoria Briggs, Cameron Forrest, and Briley Wade. Thank you, Class 4. We're going to now welcome in Class 5. Class 4, please exit the ring. In the ring now, we will have Class 5 of our 4-H Beef Showmanship. These 4-Hers have birth dates ranging from August 2004 to December 2004. There is 6 in this class. Returning from Class 5 will be Madison Perkins of Connecticut, PJ Clare of Maine, and Kaylee Donaldson of New Hampshire.
No, Maine. She's Maine. She's representing Maine delegation.
Kaylee Donaldson, I apologize, is with the Maine delegation this weekend. Thank you, Class 5. You are dismissed from the ring. We're going to be ready to get Class 6 in here shortly. In the ring now is Class 6 for our 4-H beef showmanship. These 4-Hers have birth dates ranging from January 2005 to April 2005. There is 6 in this class, like there was on the last. As we welcome them in here, we're going to get Class 6 underway. For those of you just joining us here at ringside right now, what the judge is looking at for these 4-H showmen is how they present the animal to him. He's not so much looking at the quality of the animal, structure, things like that. He's looking at the 4-Hers and how they do a job of making sure the judge can see the animal, the judge knows where they are, that they know where the judge is, things like that. Those are the important things that the judge is looking for with these 4-Hers right now. Our 4-H program here at Eastern States ranges for kids from the ages of 12 to 18. The 4-Hers that we've seen are right about in the middle of the pack at 14, 15 years old. These kids are kids that, for many of them have been showing most of their lives. They just weren't old enough to be here at the program. For some of them, it's some of their first years here in the program. So it's definitely important to see that we have kids here that are, as we go down the line with these classes, they are getting younger and younger. But the experience is still there, and that's something that we can really appreciate for these 4-Hers and all the effort that they're putting in here today. Returning from Class 6 will be Dawson Ramsdale of Maine and Marissa Perkins of Connecticut. Thank you, Class 6. You're dismissed from the ring. Class 7, we're going to have you in here shortly. In the ring right now, we need Showmanship Class 7 for 4-H beef. These 4-Hers have birth dates between July 2005 and August 2006. There's 7 in this class, so we should have 7 entries coming in the ring right now. For many of these 4-Hers, this will be the last show with some of these animals. A lot of this, all the steers here today will be run through a sale tomorrow afternoon. The sale's at 6 o'clock right here in the Mallory Arena. Will be market steers. These are animals that you can have processed to be put in your freezer. They are well taken care of, well grown by these 4-Hers. These 4-Hers put their hearts and souls into these animals. It's a project that once they sell these animals, they can go buy one for next year or put that money towards an animal they may already have for next year. So support from everybody. It's not only supporting these individual 4-Hers, but the 4-H program in general. So this is just a formal invitation for everybody to attend the auction tomorrow night at 6 o'clock if you have right here in the Mallory Arena. If you have questions about it, you can feel free to contact or reach out to any of the 4-Hers you see and ask them for information and more updates about that sale as we go on the day here. Returning from Class 7 will be Madeline Nickerson of Maine, Lily Brown of Maine, and McCallie Forrest of Rhode Island. Thank you, Class 7. You are dismissed from the show ring. Class 8, please be ready to enter the ring. Coming to the ring now is Showmanship Class 8 for the 4-H Beef Showmanship competition. There's 7 in this class, as there was in the last, so we're expecting 7 showmen with their animals in the ring right now. Let's go, guys. Come on in. Come on in, Class 8. You're welcome to the ring. I need the callbacks from Class 1 and 2 of the 4-H Beef Showmanship competition to make their way to the make-ready area. So if any of you are sitting on the stands, please get your animals and start making your way over there. This is Class 8, our final class of our 2019 showmanship. After this, we're going to get into the final drives or our second set of heats. This is the youngest age group that we have in here. These 4-Hers were born between September 2006 and December 2006. All these 4-Hers, this is more than likely their first year here at the Big E, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's their first year showing cattle. For many of them, I'm sure that they've had many years of experience doing this, and it's clearly evident by them in this ring right now. Returning from Class 8 will be Mackenzie Ramsdale of Maine, Madeline Ramsdale of Maine, and Mackenzie Perkins of Connecticut. Thank you, Class 8. You are dismissed from the ring. Okay, as we move on, we're going to do 4 semifinal heats. It'll be Class 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, and then 7 and 8. So first in the ring right now, we need the returning showmen from Class 1 and 2. They are Olivia Oatley of Rhode Island, Sophia Romani of Rhode Island, Andrea Majewski of New Hampshire, Olivia Briggs of New Hampshire, Alexis Washburn of New York with the Massachusetts delegation, Aaron Battles of Connecticut, and Cameron Fitch of Maine. In the ring right now, we have our semifinal heat one of our 2019 4-H Beef Showmanship show. So as we progress with Showmanship, the idea behind Showmanship is how well the show person is presenting the animal that they're holding, their animal, to the judge. That's something that the judge isn't necessarily looking at the quality of the animal, the structure of the animal, but more the person and how they present themselves and the animal. So this is semifinal heat one. There will be 4 of them. And this is a free-for-all, so there is the judge will be looking at these showmen completely new. He's looking at just what's going on in this class right now. He'll choose who to keep out of this class to go into a very final drive. He'll keep however many he feels out of each of the 4 heats, and then we'll get into the final one.
Heat 2 to the ring.
Heat 2, we need you in the ring. Heat 1, thank you very much. You are dismissed. Returning from Heat 1 will be Olivia Oatley of Rhode Island, Olivia Briggs of New Hampshire, and Alexis Washburn of New York with the Massachusetts delegation. In the ring now is our second heat of semifinals. These are our returns from class 3 and 4 of the first classes. In this class, we have Cody Kishbaugh of New York, Lily Diaz of Massachusetts, Ashton Karen of Maine, Victoria Briggs of New Hampshire, Cameron Forrest of Rhode Island, Clayton Constantine of Massachusetts, and Briley Wade of Massachusetts. Thank you, semifinal heat number 2. You are dismissed from the ring. Returning from that semifinal heat will be Cody Kishbaugh of New York, Cameron Forrest of Rhode Island, and Victoria Briggs of New Hampshire. In the ring now, we need heat number 3 of the semifinals. These are the callbacks from class 5 and 6. We need Madison Perkins of Connecticut, Marissa Perkins of Connecticut, Dawson Ramsdale of Maine, Kaylee Donaldson of Maine, and PJ Clare of Maine. Thank you, semifinal heat 3. You are dismissed from the ring. Returning from semifinal heat 3 will be Marissa Perkins, Madison Perkins, and Dawson Ramsdale. In the ring now, we need semifinal heat number 4. These are the callbacks from class 7 and 8 of the regular showmanship. We need Madeline Nickerson of Maine, Lily Brown of Maine, McCallie Forrest of Rhode Island, Mackenzie Ramsdale of Maine, Madeline Ramsdale of Maine, and Mackenzie Perkins of Connecticut. Thank you, semifinal heat 4. Returning from that heat will be Marissa Perkins of Connecticut, Mackenzie Ramsdale of Maine, Madeline Nickerson of Maine, and Madison Ramsdale of Maine. Okay. Okay, in the ring right now is our final drive for 2019 4-H Beef Showmanship. We need the callbacks from the semifinal heats. From Heat 1, Olivia Oatley of Rhode Island, Olivia Briggs of New Hampshire, Alexis Washburn of Massachusetts delegation, Cody from Heat 2, Cody Kishbaugh of New York, Victoria Briggs of New Hampshire, Cameron Forrest of Rhode Island. From Heat 3, we need Marissa Perkins of Connecticut, Dawson Ramsdale of Maine, Madison Perkins of Connecticut. And from Heat 4, we need Marissa Perkins of Connecticut, Mackenzie Ramsdale of Maine, Madeline Ramsdale of Maine, and Madeline Nickerson of Maine. Mackenzie Perkins, I do apologize. I believe I said Marissa twice. As we get our final drive coming in here right now, these are the final, I believe, 13 contestants in our 2019 4-H Beef Showmanship competition. There are 65 of these 4-Hers here. These are the 13 that the judge has chosen to represent them in this final drive. The judge will choose a top 4. The judge is starting over looking at how they're doing right now. The judge is going to come out. He's going to work these kids and get them. He's going to get another feel for them and see what he likes, what he doesn't like, and then he'll pick his top 4. Showmanship in general, for those of you who are just joining us now, showmanship, the judge is looking at how well the showman presents the animal to him, how well they present themselves to him. He's not so much looking at the shape, structure, quality of the animal as it is how well the showman is presenting the animal to him. Our judge today is Mr. Ken Culp III. I apologize, Dr. Ken Culp III. He was born and raised near Rensselaer, Indiana, on a 2,500-acre livestock and grain farm with a beef feedlot capacity of 1,200 head. He was a 10-year 4-H'er and a 5-year FFA member. He was a member of the 1978 Purdue Livestock Judging Team, which won the national championship contest at the North American. Ken has judged livestock and showmanship in 15 states, from Florida to California to Massachusetts. Together with 4 generations, the Culp family has operated Grand Ole Place Farms with divisions in Indiana and Kentucky. The Culp family breed, show, and sell Key Angus, Chiania, Hereford, and maintainer cattle, semen, and embryos. He's currently serving his 3rd term as a member of the American Chiania Association's Board of Directors. He and his wife Nancy live in Nicholasville, Kentucky, and are the parents of 3 daughters, Brittany, Kelsey, and Laurel, all of whom are actively involved in the cattle operation. All 3 girls have served as a director of the American Junior Chiania Association and have also served as a national Chiania Queen. They have 1 granddaughter and 1 grandson, and the Culps have participated in 20 consecutive national junior Chiania heifer shows.
Well, let's give these 13 a big hand. This is the stuff dreams are made of, right? Not everybody has a dad who can afford to spend what sometimes it takes to win the junior national. And in my case, it took us 19 years to breed one that was good enough to win, because I was one of those dads that couldn't afford to spend enough money. But any kid that wants to set a goal to work hard enough to win showmanship can do that. And in my book, that's what it's all about. The young lady at this end does a really nice job with this little belted Galloway heifer. She's really fancy, she's really stylish, she's not nearly big enough. But we're not worried about that today because we're judging showmanship, right? The heifer's got a lot of hair and she's hot. And so because of that, she's not just behaving, she's not walking as willingly as we would like. But that heifer walks into place and she gets stopped and she gets her stuck and she just stands there and she does a really, really nice job. The next young lady is extremely professional, very, very poised, very, very collected. This steer never wants to get this hind leg back far enough. He needs to be back about right here. And that's the problem I have with this particular calf. But she's very calm. She has an excellent demeanor. There you go. She never loses her cool. The next young lady also does a really, really good job. She gets that heifer to walk into place, and she gives me as good a look on the profile as anybody out here. The problem with this one is she doesn't want to lead, and you pull on her a lot to get her to walk. You got to, all right? But in showmanship, to win showmanship, the heifer's got to be like a horse. They've got to walk beside you, not behind you. And she spends a lot of time trailing along behind you, all right? Next young lady with the Scottish Highlander does a really nice job. And this is a breed that is difficult to show because they got so dang much hair. And you got to keep them clean, and there can't have a single cockleburr because they find it. And it takes a lot of effort to get one in the shape and condition this one's in. And she does a really good job. And you got to dance around and dodge those horns, and that's kind of a job too. So very, very professional. Right now you're kind of out of line. You're kind of back here in a hole. Next young lady's got a key heifer that is very difficult to show. She's not too bad when she's here in the middle, but she does not like to be in front. She does not lead very well. This young lady is really, really poised, really very professional. I talk a lot about straight lines, and she projects a straight line. She's very erect, very, very calm, very deliberate, doesn't overuse the show stick, does a really, really nice job. Next young lady's been in this ring all day showing Angus cattle, all right? And she's tired, and her heifer is particularly tired, all right? She actually looked better yesterday. That's just the way it is. But she does a really nice job. You know, you've probably shown more hours in this ring today than anybody else out here. You still just keep it all together, you know? You just really do a good job. The shorthorn heifer here. Also, this young lady does a really fancy job. This heifer tends to want to keep this back foot just a little bit tucked under her. Okay, it's pretty good right now. This heifer is a little bit high right here in her hip, all right? And if you can pull this hind leg back about 3 inches, it drops that hip, and it just makes her top look so much better. Every calf has to be shown a little bit differently. That's the problem we work on with that particular heifer. Okay, this young man's got a steer that was reserve grand yesterday, and he probably stood in the chute longer yesterday than he should have, as we talked about earlier. To me, he honestly looks better today than he did yesterday, and he's not fitted up, all right? If you're going to keep one in the chute 2.5 hours, you got to teach him to stand up for 3 hours at home, all right? Because the longer they go and the more tired they get, they just kind of sag and fall apart. He does a really, really good job. Very deliberate, very calm, keeps his feet together. Just really, really nice job. This young lady, I talked to her when she was out here before. She had a solid color green top on, kind of flowing, all right? I like solid colors. I think if you're going to show cattle, you got to have a button-down collared shirt. That's just the way I think it should be. I gave her a little piece of advice, and she took it, and that's why you're out here, all right? So good job, good job. All right? Next young man with the Hereford heifer again. really upright, really projects a straight line. Heifer doesn't always lead just as well as she could, all right? But he maintains his calm, just keeps her, and when she gets her stuck, she really does a nice job getting stuck. All right, next young lady with the brockle face steer, and I told you to move, and I kind of got you in a hole, and I recognize that. That's my problem, all right? You had him lined up over here in a good spot, okay? She does a good job with this steer. He's a little short-strided. He doesn't really want to get out and move, but boy, when you get him stopped, he really does a nice job. Young lady here with the steer, you're not showing the one I liked yesterday. You're showing the one you like. You still think I'm wrong, don't you? At any rate, maybe he works better for her. All right, she had the champion steer yesterday. This is not the champion steer. Very professional, just really deliberate, really calm. Doesn't overshow. You don't really ever see her. You just see the calf. That's kind of what it's all about. The young lady here circling with her calf. Also, here's the one thing that she did that I really like. Now, everybody's different, but remember this. Remember this. Okay? I went through before, and I asked everybody that had a heifer when their heifer was born and who its sire was. And if they had a steer, I asked them how much it weighed and what its sire was. And while I was doing that, I was handling the calf, right? And then I stood back. And 11 of the 13 of you took that opportunity to comb the hair. That's wrong. When I'm standing there looking at that calf, you have 100% of my undivided attention. That is not the time to show me what a good fitter you are. That's the time to get every bit of good out of that calf that you can get, and you did that right. So, well done. All right? And I'm supposed to pick 4, is that right? I don't like that number at all. Okay? I don't like that number at all. Number 6. You're not going to get anything for number 6 except a little recognition. Congratulations.
Sixth place overall goes to Dawson Ramsdale of Maine.
Number 5. Number 4. Number 3. Number 2. And then there is 1. Okay? Everybody got their favorites? Lots of ways you can go. The good thing about this is there's 13 out here that are so good. You could pick any of the 13. But the champion showman is a showman that's very inobtrusive, very professional. It's the showman that I picked out yesterday, and it's this young lady right here.
Your grand champion showman for 2019 is Olivia Oatley. Reserve champion showman is Victoria Briggs. Highly commended showman is Marissa Perkins. Commended is Cody Kishbaugh of New York. 5th is Mackenzie Perkins, and 6th was Dawson Ramsdale of Maine. Can we have the top 4 showmen please make their way over to the banner?